A really common mistake that a lot of advertisers do is not focusing enough time and effort on optimizing the hook and the headline of their Facebook and Instagram ads. So when I'm speaking about the hook, that's generally the text that appears above the creative. So that's the first few words or the first few sentences that you can see on the top of your creative on the Facebook newsfeed. And the headline is the text that appears under the creative next to the call to action button on the Facebook newsfeed. The hook in the headline has the second biggest impact on the performance of your ads. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build out and test different hooks and headlines to really get amazing click-through rates and start seeing results like this. This is actually one of our e-commerce clients, and as you can see, we got a 20x ROAS and a 4.19% click-through rate. So if you watch this video all the way to the end, I will promise you that you will have the ability to start building out way better hooks and headlines, and also have the ability to start testing different variations to really optimize the click-through rate and start seeing amazing results. And I'm also going to give you a bonus tip in the end of this video where I'm going to show you a tool that I'm using to help me generate hooks and headlines with artificial intelligence. But first, I want to illustrate how important it is to actually test out hooks and headlines so you can avoid making that common mistake of only focusing on the creative. So I'm going to show you a scenario where we have a good hook in a headline and a really great hook in a headline, and how big of a difference it can have on the overall profitability of your business. So as you can see, we have business A and business B. The difference between the two is that business A is spending time and effort in optimizing the hook in the headline, and they're also doing the necessary testing in order to get a really good click-through rate. Now business B is also putting in somewhat time and effort and making a decent, good headline and a good hook, but not as much as business A. So let's say they're both running campaigns and they both have an ad spend of $10,000. The CPM is the same. So how much it costs for these businesses to place the ads in front of people is the same. So both businesses will in that instance have a bit more than 1.4 million impressions. And here's where the difference starts happening. Since business A is doing the necessary work, they're having a click-through rate of 4%. Now business B has a decent click-through rate, but it's only 2.7%. So from business B to business A, there's a 48% difference in the click-through rate. For business A, we will have a bit more than 57,000 clicks. And for business B, we will have a bit more than 38,000 clicks. So let's say they both have a 3% conversion rate. So when people go off the ad and onto the website, 3% of them will convert. That means that business A will have 1,713 conversions and business B will have 1,156 conversions. To make this example a bit more easy to understand, let's say each conversion is worth $100. So business A will have $171,300 in sales and business B will have $115,600 in sales. So as you can see, there's still a 48% difference in sales. But for a business owner, sales is one thing, but what we actually care about is of course the profit. And this is what a lot of people don't fully understand. Let's say both of the businesses has a 25% profit margin. That means business A will have $32,825 in profit and business B will only have $18,900 in profit. As you can see, now there's a 74% difference in profit. And the reason why it's such a huge difference in profit is because the 10K in ad spend has a much bigger percentage effect on the profitability for business B than it has for business A. So the reason why I'm showing you this is to illustrate how important it is to put in that extra time and effort to optimize the hook in the headline, because it can actually have a huge impact on the profitability of your overall business and if you will be able to scale or not. So the main job of the hook in the headline is to grab attention from the right people. Now the reason why I'm saying the right people is because you don't want to grab attention from just anyone. You only want to grab attention from the people that are highly likely to convert onto a customer. And because of this, there's differences in how you build out and structure your headlines based on what industry you're in. Now, as an example to better illustrate this, I have pulled up an ad from a company called Custom Cuff, and they're selling low-ticket jewelry products online, usually less than $100. So as you can see here, they're actually just using their offer in the ad as a hook, and they have a pretty simple headline that just explains the product in more detail and what it is for. On the other hand here, I have an example from Sabri Subi, who is an online marketer, and he's trying to sell his course with this Facebook ad. Now, as you can see, his hook is really specific, targeted towards people that understand lead generation. He's just showing off metrics that only online marketers who are into lead gen will resonate with and recognize. And the same goes for the headline. As you can see, it's also really targeted towards customer acquisition. So people that are not into that will not resonate with that headline, and they will probably not click on the ad. But on the other hand, people that are into getting leads and customer acquisition will really resonate with this, and this can be really intriguing for them to click on to the website. As you can see, there's a big difference between how they structure the hook and the headline for these two ads. But the main difference that I want you to understand here is that for low ticket e-commerce products, the ad itself with the hook and the headline is selling the product and not the click. And for high ticket B2B products such as Sabri Subi's course, he's selling the click and not the product right away. Custom Cuff has a way broader audience, and they have a big customer demographic of many different people. So it's hard to tell exactly what kind of people that would be interested in this product, as the jewelry is basically targeted towards anyone who's buying a gift for their partner, friend, family member. So it's really broad. And the price of their product and their profit margin is also way lower than Sabri Subi's course. And that's why they have to communicate the totality of the offer in the ad. That means people need to understand exactly what is going to happen when they click on the ad, what the offer is, and it's not going to be a long funnel. When you start having more touch points and longer funnels, that means you're paying for more attention to inform the people about your offer and what you're selling them. Now, attention costs money. And if you don't have a high price and a high profit margin, you don't have a lot of money you can spend on acquiring these customers. So for Custom Cuff, they have to be really efficient with their ads and communicate the whole offer so that only the people that are actually interested in buying right away is going to click on the ad and go onto the website and purchase the product. Now, for Sabri Subi's course, the customer journey is way longer, but his price and his profit margin is also way higher, so he can spend way more on acquiring these customers. Now, in order to build out really great headlines, I'm going to show you a few templates that you can use. But the main thing is it's going to differ very much depending on what product you sell and what industry you're in. So you basically have to do some research for yourself. Now, if you have a competitor or a business that are selling a similar product or service to yourself, I would highly recommend to actually go onto their Facebook page and go to the Facebook ad library where you can actually see the active ads that they're running. And by doing that, you can figure out what's working well for them, and then you can take some inspiration from that. But do not copy paste, just draw inspiration and try to build something different and be creative for yourself. Now, if you're serious about getting better at writing hooks, headlines, and basically getting better at writing copy, you should absolutely go and get this book from Jim Edwards. It's called Copywriting Secrets, and it's absolutely amazing. I always have this on my desk when I'm writing copy because it always gives me inspiration and starts to get my mind running for how I can build out and improve my hooks and headlines. Now, in this book, you will get a lot of intuitive templates that you can basically use for your product and service. And one example that I have here is the how-to structure. So basically what you're going to do is you put how to, and then you insert the desired outcome that they want in as little as, and then you insert the time it will take to get that desired outcome. And then you have even if you, and then you insert a common objection. So an example of this could be how to 10x your push-ups in as little as 1 week, even if you can't do 3 push-ups right now. And another tip that I have that I've used in my agency for a lot of my clients is including the word free in the headline and the hook. People love free things. So if you have a lead magnet that you can give away for free, you should always use the free in the headline and the hook and get more people interested in your lead magnet. Now, another way you can get a lot of good inspiration for hooks and headlines is actually using the platform that you are on right now. YouTube is a great way to draw inspiration for hooks and headlines. Every time you see a video that you really want to click on, make sure you try to understand what is making the title so attractive. And when you do that, you can start to break down the psychology behind building out that headline, and you could start to apply the same principles to yourself and your own business when you're building out hooks and headlines. But before you start building out your hooks and headlines, there's something that I absolutely need to tell you, and something that it's really important that you understand. Facebook will not allow you to use really clickbaity hooks and headlines. And if you do this, you might get a really low quality score for your ad. And worst case scenario, your ad might be rejected and your ad account can over time get banned if you start doing this. Now, the quality score that your ad gets is basically a rating that Facebook automatically gives to your ad based on how well they think it suits on their platform. Now, Facebook obviously don't want a lot of clickbaity ads all over their platform. So if you make really clickbaity ads, or you withhold information, or make over sensationalized language, it's going to get way more expensive for you to place your ads in front of people. And if you want to know what quality score your ad has, you can go to the column in your Facebook Business Manager account and click quality score, and then you can see where you rank. Now, if you want more information on quality score, basically click the video right here and watch that after you watch this video. Another mistake that you want to avoid is not understanding that the hook and the headline is going to be different depending on if you're targeting a warm or cold audience. Now, a warm audience is basically just people that are already familiar with your brand and your product. And a cold audience will consist of people that do not know anything about your brand or your product yet. So there's a big difference between these two audiences that you need to consider when you're building your hooks and headlines. Now, to make sure that you fully understand this, I'm going to show you some really good examples. Now, the first example I'm going to show you is one ad from ClickFunnels. As you can see, they're using a leading question targeted towards online business owners as a hook for this ad. And take note of that they do not mention their product anywhere in the hook and the headline. The headline is just everything you need to grow your business online. So they're really focusing on the desire and not the product when they're targeting a cold audience. And here's another ad that is targeted towards warm audiences. They're actually using the name of the product in the hook, and they're also using the name of the product in the headline. Another example that I found is from the Australian super successful e-commerce brand, the Oodie. You can see that the ad is more suitable for people that do not yet know about the product and they don't know about the benefits of the product. And you can see that they're not that focused on the offer. They're more focused on explaining the product and making the person understand the value of the product. Now, on the other side, this is an ad that's targeted towards warm audiences. As you can see here, they're more focused on creating urgency and explaining the offer. So you see that the hook will only make sense for people that already know about the product. And you see that the headline is really doing a job here of creating urgency and making people understand that this is a limited offer that they need to take action on now if they want to get a really good deal. So as you can see, there's a big difference between how you build out hooks and headlines when you target people that don't know about your business and product, and how you do it when people already know about your business and product. So now you should have a better understanding of how you can start building out hooks and headlines for your ads, but there's still some things that you need to know before you go over to your Facebook Business Manager and start putting in the hooks and headlines. Now, in the beginning of the video, I told you that the headline is the text that appears under the creative. Now, that's not true for all of the placement. As you might know, Facebook has a lot of different placements where they can put your ads, and the text that is shown in your ad is going to be different depending on what placement your ad is on. So when you're inside your Facebook Business Manager to set up your ad, make sure you have a look at the preview section. As you can see on Instagram placements, the headline is not even being shown. So if it's necessary to see the headline to fully understand what your ad is about, your ad is probably not going to do as well on Instagram placements. So if you get most of your results from Instagram, you should probably focus more on the hook and make sure that the hook and the primary text is enough to understand what your offer and your ad is about. And if you're not sure which placement works the best for your business, go into your Facebook Manager and have a look at the breakdown section where you can see which placement you're getting the most results from. And if you're getting most of your results from Instagram, you should focus more on your time and effort on building a really good hook, because the headline is not even going to be shown that much. You should also be really aware about the maximum visible length on mobile. When you're inside your Facebook Business Manager and putting in the headline, you will see that there's a limit to the length you can have. But in the preview section inside your Facebook Business Manager, even if it doesn't show the full headline, it might still actually be visible on mobile. To figure this out, click the share button and send a notification to Facebook and open the ad on your Facebook app. And if you can see the whole headline on your mobile when you do this, don't worry about the preview in your Facebook Business Manager. That one is not fully accurate. So this is an example campaign, and I've gone on to the ad level. So I scroll down and go to the headline section, and this is where I will put in my first variant. So this is going to be my first headline. As you can see here, part of the headline is cut off, but on mobile, I already went ahead and checked this. The whole headline is actually visible. So this is the first variant. I'm also going to add a second variant. So I'm going to click the add headline option. Here's where I'm going to put in the next headline. So now I put in my other headline. You basically do the same process for the primary text. So you will put in your hooks here. And generally, I would recommend that depending on how big of a budget you have, Do not add too many variants unless you have a really high budget or you want to run this test for a really long time. The point is that you want to have a lot of data before you draw any conclusions of which hook and headline that work the best for you. And if you have a really limited budget, chances are it will take a long time before you can even figure out which one works the best, because the results might look very similar and there's not enough data to start drawing conclusions. So I'm just going to paste in the two hook variants. So to put in the other variant, you're going to click Add Text option. So for context, this is just an example. I'm not going to actually publish this ad. If I were to publish this ad, I will definitely put in more information in the primary text and maybe do some more research and put in a description, but I'm not going to do that in this example. So after you have put in your variants, make sure that you have optimized text per person disabled. So you can do that by clicking Edit and turn it off right here. If that's not possible, go on to the Advantage plus Creative section and click Edit. When you go in here, you have to turn off standard enhancements, and then you will be able to disable after. And when your ad is finished, you just click Publish. After you now have run your ads for a while, it's time to look at the results and figure out which hook and which headline work the best for you, so you know which one you will use in the future. So I'm now in my client's ad account and I'm going to show you a test that we recently ran and how you can analyze the results to figure out which one worked the best. So first of all, make sure that you have the correct columns showing. As you can see here, I have results, cost per result, and click-through rate showing here. Now, if you're doing e-commerce, I recommend that you use ROAS, or return on ad spend, as a column, so you can compare the different ROAS for the different headlines as well. Once you have this column in place, go over to your ads level and click the breakdown. Then you're going to select by dynamic creative element and start with headline. So in this instance, we ran a lot of tests, so I'm going to show you one ad that has the most data. As you can see, ad number 2 here has 532 leads. So it has a lot of data, and we can see that we have 2 headlines that we tested here. So for this one, it's pretty obvious which one that worked the best. You can see that the top headline here has a 75% click-through rate, and it has a 52 kroners per lead, which is about a $5 per lead. And it has also the most amount of leads. So for this instance, this is the winner, and this is the one we're going to put into a Google Sheet, and we're going to note this as the winner. So next time we run a test, we know that this is the one we want to try to outcompete. So we're going to create 1 or 2 new variants and test them up against this winner. Now, if you don't have an obvious winner yet, and you might have one that has the best click-through rate, but not the lowest cost per result, and maybe not even the most leads, then you can either keep running the ad for a while and see if it starts to be more obvious which one is the winner. And if the result still keeps being really similar, I recommend to go with the one with the highest ROAS or the lowest cost per lead or cost per result if it has gotten sufficient spending. If the headline has really low spend compared to the other headline, you should keep running it for a while before you draw any conclusions. Now, when we're looking at the hook, we're basically doing the exact same process. Go back to breakdowns and select by dynamic creative element, and then you're going to select text. Now, as you see here, we're basically just doing the exact same process for that hook. So since you watched the video all the way to the end, I'm now going to show you a tool that I'm using to help me create really good hooks and headlines. So as you can see, I'm inside Copy AI, which is an amazing tool for helping me with copywriting. Now I'm using the hook generator. So as you can see, I put in a bit of text, and the more context you provide, the better content the AI is going to generate for you. As you can see, you can choose a tone and click create content, and it will create a lot of different variants for you. So what I recommend doing is look for this as inspiration. Some of the content that the AI is going to generate for you is not going to be relevant, but you can pick out pieces here and there and put it into the notepad on the right. And instead of starting all the way from zero and only using your mind to draw inspiration, this has really helped me to start forming ideas and improving my hooks and headlines. You can also use this for Facebook headlines. So you put in your product or brand name on the top, and then you describe your product, and then you click create content, and you will have a lot of different variants to choose from. So as an example, I'm going to put in this text right here, and then I'm going to call it acquisition system. And then we're going to see what the AI is putting out for us. So create content. And as you can see, we have a lot of different headlines here we can choose from. So this has really helped me, and there's also a bunch of other tools you can use. Google Headlines. If we go over to the tool section, you can see that you can use it for a lot of different things: emails, blog posts, sales letters, Now, they're not paying me to say this, but I do have an affiliate link. So if you want to click the link in the description of this video, you will have a 7-day free trial where you can test out this tool and see for yourself if it helps you get inspiration for creating hooks, headlines, or any kind of copy that you might need. Make sure you click the link in the description and try out this tool for free for 7 days and see if you like it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave it a like. If you have any questions to what I went through in the video, make sure you leave a comment below. I answer each and every comment and question in as much detail as possible, so make sure you take advantage of that. And I also will invite you to join my free Facebook group. Right now we only have about 150 members, and there's a lot of online marketers and growth hackers that are in that group. Right now it's open for everyone, so if you want to join, make sure you click the link in the description and I'm going to let you into the group. At some point I'm hoping to close the group so we have a bit more control over who can join the group. But right now, if you want to join, make sure you click the link and join the group. If you join the group, I'm also going to offer you a 20-minute free consultation with me. So if you need any help with looking through your ads inside your Facebook Business Manager, optimizing your conversion rate, your click-through rate, whatever it is, we can go through that in that call. So make sure you join the Facebook group if you're interested in that. And of course, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content like this. I just recently hit 400 subscribers, and my goal before the end of this year is to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.